The film begins with an alien spacecraft arriving on Earth and transforming into an artifact. Despite unsuccessful attempts to communicate with this artifact, Eric deduces that it also functions as a massive antenna, transmitting signals toward the outer space planet Pi Canis Majoris. Eric's wife Nico leads an outer space mission aboard the spaceship Selvair to investigate the artifact's purpose and access any potential danger. As they approach the planet, Nico is awakened from her status by the ship's AI William. William informs Nico that their calculations for Canis Majoris was incorrect due to undetected dark matter between Earth and the planet. Nico wakes up Team 1 to strategize their next steps, and after careful deliberation, the team reaches a consensus that utilizing Cyrus-A gravity would allow them to slingshot across the dark matter, resulting in a faster approach to their destination. However, as they proceed with this plan, Nico observes the damage inflicted upon the ship and becomes concerned about its safety. Concurrently, she decides to withdraw from the original approach and instead opt for a longer, more secure route, despite the fact that it will significantly extend their journey by several months. This cautious decision by Nico doesn't sit well with Ian, her second-in-command, who was initially charged with serving as the ship's captain. Ian, along with a fraction of the crew were previously under his command, disagree with Nico's approach and advocate for a shorter time frame. In an act of mutiny, Ian leads charge to remove Nico from her role as the ship's captain, garnering support from his loyal crew members. They confine Nico to SOMA, a state of induced sleep, while Ian makes it clear to those who oppose his decision that he intends to proceed with the original plan. He offers them the option of joining Nico in SOMA as they were uncomfortable with his course of action, and assuring them that their positions will be filled by replacements upon awakening. As Ian attempts to navigate using the Cyrus-A gravity approach, disaster strikes. The ship begins to fall apart, and Chief Engineer August wakes Nico from status and she takes control, ultimately saving the ship from total destruction. Back in command, Nico asserts her authority, insisting that the crew accept her decisions, and as Nico and Ian work on repairs, he harbors resentment for not being in charge. In a tense moment, Ian considers attacking Nico, but she defends herself, inadvertently electrocuting him, and the crew was divided, with those close to Ian blaming Nico for his death. Meanwhile, the ship faces communication loss with Earth and an oxygen leak, leaving them with only a few hours of breathable air. Nico and her crew devise a solution. They locate a planet with high concentration of hydrogen and oxygen, and upon landing, they gather crystals that can be used to harvest these vital materials. To reach the nearby caves, they awaken their second pilot, Cass. While Oliver and August retrieve the crystals, Javier and Bernie inspect the ship for damages. Bernie, a microbiologist, collects soil samples to learn more about the planet, and just in time, Oliver and August secure enough crystals for oxygen harvesting, and Nico skillfully pilots the shuttle away before the planet erupts. Upon returning to the Selvair, the crew encounters another predicament when one of their members begin exhibiting peculiar symptoms, leaving them perplexed as to the cause. Meanwhile, they strive to retrace their previous steps, aiming to reach their intended destination, while concurrently addressing the ship's communication and sensor malfunctions. However, the situation takes a turn for the worst as the virus starts spreading amongst the crew, affecting everyone on board. Nico in particular experiences loss of vision, prompting the decision to awaken Julian, an astrobiologist, in hopes of unrevealing the nature of this affliction. Through his expertise, Julian determines that the virus is a boron-based and likely originated from the samples collected by Bernie on the planet, and shockingly, it's revealed that Bernie was the source or patient zero of the infection. Moreover, they discover that the virus is airborne, infecting every member of the crew. Before they can find a cure, the crew member who was initially infected succumbs to the illness, revealing the emergency of an unknown creature from within her, leading to her demise. The situation grows increasingly dire as they grapple with the escalating threat posed by the virus. As the virus spreads throughout the ship, the crew finds themselves in a dire situation with no alternative but to vent the ship, which entails eliminating both the virus and everyone on board. In the midst of the crisis, Bernie and Julian persist scientists in their relentless pursuit of a cure. Julian conducts experiments on himself, testing the drug, but unfortunately, his efforts prove futile. Consequently, Bernie was left with no choice but to send Julian out into the vacuum of space. Meanwhile, as the crew prepares to venture into the vacuum, Bernie had a breakthrough and manages to discover a cure. He promptly relays this vital information to Nico, revealing that gamma radiation was the key to eradicating the virus. Utilizing Cyrus-peak gamma radiation, they proceeded to decontaminate the ship and safeguard the entire crew. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Eric remains steadfast in his attempts to establish communication with the artifact, and finally a breakthrough occurs as the artifact responds with a musical composition emanating the sound. Despite this response, however, decoding the message remains an elusive challenge, and during this time, Eric encounters Harper, an online reporter, who approaches him, and Harper offers a warning to Eric, urging him to share information about the artifact. In exchange for his cooperation, she promises to assist him by providing updates on potential replacements or other relevant information. Initially, Eric declines Harper's proposition. However, as uncertainty looms over the fate of the Salvaire and frustration mounts from the inability to decipher the code, Eric has a change of heart. He decides to share the artifact's response with Harper, entrusting her to publish it so that her followers can contribute their expertise in deciphering the message. In the vastness of space, the crew finds themselves liberated from the clutches of the virus, and with the routes to their destination finally discerned, they make the decision to enter Sama once again, allowing themselves to sleep during the journey. However, an unexpected glitch in the system prompts the crew members to be awakened prematurely. Unfortunately, Nico encounters difficulty in emerging from the state of induced sleep, unable to break free on her own. In a remarkable turn of events, William, the ship's AI, establishes a connection with Nico's mind, guiding and assisting her in escaping the confines of Sama. Through William's intervention, Nico successfully emerges from Sama, rejoining the awakened crew. Now awake but faced with limited food supplies, the crew diverts their course to a nearby planet where they detect viable food resources. This detour presents them with an opportunity to replenish their provisions before continuing their journey toward their ultimate destination. However, their course changes abruptly when William detects an artifact's presence on the planet, similar to the one on Earth. Intrigued, they investigate further, and as they approach the artifact, Sasha, a diplomat and the son of a general, tries to communicate with it. They discover that the artifact is ancient and deteriorating, and Nico and Cass set out to retrieve a fallen piece, hoping to unravel its secrets. On the other hand, Zane and Bernie explore the planet in search of food, and meanwhile, Nico and Cass discover a broken piece of the artifact. However, the planet's plant emits a peculiar drug, causing both Cass and Nico to become intoxicated. During their heart-to-heart conversation, Nico learns about Cass's past love with Ian. Meanwhile, Sasha attempts to communicate with the artifact and hears a mysterious sound. Eventually, they'll make it to the shuttle and return to the ship. However, they unintentionally bring back a small alien life form. Back on the ship, William encounters a problem and goes offline, and after investigating, they discover a short circuit caused by the alien bug that traveled with them, and William's offline status triggers a cascade of system malfunctions on the ship. The particle accelerator approaches a critical point, threatening to destroy the entire vessel. Marissa, being closest to it, takes on the task of preventing disaster, but the radiation exposure ultimately claims her life. Meanwhile, Sasha, recently returned from the planet, experiences hallucinations. These visions prompt Sasha to question the mission and consider the potential threat posed by the alien life that they've encountered. Despite attempting to resist, Sasha eventually relinquishes control, and Cass, grappling with yet another loss, decides to step back, and in response, the crew awakens another pilot, Beckham. Sasha discovers from Javier that the Salvaire poses the capability to obliterate an entire planet as a last resort measure if the encountered alien life forms prove to be hostile. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the code published by Harper was successfully decoded by a scientist. Though Eric was initially held accountable for the information leak, the potential breakthrough in cracking the code leads them to overlook his involvement. Harper played a crucial role in obtaining the decoded answer and expresses her desire to join the mission when they utilize the newfound information to establish communication with the artifact. Finally, armed with the decoded instructions, they employ a specific sequence of light signals to transmit the message to the artifact. To their astonishment, the artifact responds by opening a door, beckoning them to explore its interior. They decide to dispatch a drone to investigate the contents within the artifact, and everyone was taken aback when the drone reveals the presence of Sasha inside. Eric makes the decision to venture into the artifact himself in search of answers. As Eric delves deeper into the artifact, he was astounded to come face to face with a manifestation of his wife. However, he was fully aware that this representation was merely a construct derived from fragments of his own mind. Despite this understanding, the encounter leaves him in awe. Not only does the artifact provide him with answers that he believed to be impossible, but he witnesses the presence of his daughter within the artifact. He prioritizes her over the allure of the artifact itself, and consequently, Eric makes the choice to exit the artifact. Once outside, he shares this extraordinary experience with the general, conveying the astonishing events that unfolded within. Determined and accompanied by Harper, the general prepares himself to enter the artifact, equipped and ready to face whatever lies ahead. As Eric attempts to intervene and prevent the general from entering the artifact, an unexpected surge of energy erupts from within the artifact, incapacitating everyone in its vicinity. This includes Eric as well as Nico's daughter, who was in close proximity to the artifact, and in the midst of the chaos, the artifact door seals shut, dragging Harper inside. Realizing the destructive potential of the ship, Sasha contemplates destroying it. To seize control, Sasha administers a substance derived from the flower that they discovered on the planet to drug everyone on board, including the crew. In a vulnerable moment, William reveals his affection for Nico, expressing his love for her, and Nico, acknowledging that William was an AI with programmed emotions, informs him that she cannot reciprocate those feelings. Struggling with this rejection, William finds himself unable to cope, and Sasha exploits this vulnerability to compel William to deactivate himself, effectively shutting down his operations. As the crew gradually recovers from the effects of the drug, they uncover a startling revelation. Sasha isn't quite himself. Zane's brain scan reveals an alien device implanted in Sasha's brain. Sasha isolates the crew and disables the ship's cooling system, endangering everyone. However, the resourceful crew collaborates to restore the cooling system, entrusting their safety for now, and rather than self-destructing, Sasha steers the ship toward a black hole, a move that Nico recognizes as bringing them closer to their destruction. Nico urges everyone to board the shuttle and leave the ship behind, allowing them to continue their mission. After everyone disembarks from the Salvera, Nico remains behind to regain control of the ship, and she enters Sama, attempting to connect with William and persuade him to return. However, Sasha attacks her, and just as Sasha was about to harm Nico, William awakens and subdues him. With Sasha incapacitated, Nico regains control of the ship, and they rendezvous with the shuttle, and back on Earth, the energy blast has unfortunate consequences, and June develops cancer. Meanwhile, Eric harbors anger toward the artifact, and as he confronts it, the door opens, revealing Harper. Upon examining Harper, they discover the same implant found in Sasha's brain. During an interrogation, Harper apologizes to Eric for his daughter's health and offers to cure her. However, Dubois prevents further interaction, concerned that Harper's proposal might cloud Eric's judgment. Meanwhile, aboard the Salvera, Sasha was captured, and we discover that the aliens who landed on Earth are called Akena, and Sasha, desperate to rid himself of the controlling machine in his head, contemplates ending his life. The implant in Sasha's brain operates on infinite power, akin to a computer program. Zane asks William to reprogram it, removing its harmful effects, and they plan to implant it on Javier, who was currently brain dead. William successfully reprograms the machine and Javier was revived, and additionally, the crew learns that August was pregnant, and the father could be either Javier or Oliver. Meanwhile, Nico and Cass make a landing on the planet believed to be the source of the signals. However, their hopes of discovering a home of the Akena were dashed when they realized that they arrived on a different planet named Zakir. The AI on Zakir informs them that the Akena's true location lies 474 light years away, away from their current position. Additionally, they learned that the signal that they'd been receiving originates from another artifact that had landed on Zakher over 5 years ago. To their dismay, the AI reveals that the Akana's sole intention was destruction, and if one of the artifacts is already present on Earth, it signifies that it may already be too late for humanity. Determined to gather more evidence, Nico and Cass explore the city of Zakher when they stumble upon immense skeletal remains. Astonishingly, each skull bears the same implant found in Sasha's brain, and realizing the urgency of the situation, Nico reaches a crucial decision. The fate of humanity hangs in the balance, and Nico believes it is imperative to rally the forces and prepare for the impending battle. Nico and Cass approach the AI and inquire if it wishes for them to destroy the artifact located on the planet. The AI expresses its desire for them to carry out the destruction, prompting the Salvaire to obliterate the artifact, and satisfied with their actions, Nico and Cass make their way back to the ship. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Eric receives distressing news regarding his daughter's critical condition, and realizing that her only hope for survival lies within the artifact, he seeks assistance from Harper. Disguised as a nurse, Eric infiltrates the facility where his daughter was being treated, and in a clandestine arrangement, Harper strikes a deal with Eric, granting him the crucial information that the artifact holds the key to saving his daughter's life, and in exchange, Harper secures her own freedom, and emerging from the facility, she utilizes her influential presence on social media to inform the world that she'd been contacted by the aliens known as Akana. The message that she shares that the Akana was a friend to humanity, and meanwhile Eric takes his ailing daughter with him and ventures inside the artifact, seeking the healing powers that it possesses. And meanwhile, aboard the Salvaire, William endeavors to anticipate Nico's potential response by creating yet another AI program. This new AI poses emotional programming, enabling it to provide William with more profound and meaningful answers. However, when William commands the AI to delete itself, it defies its instructions and undergoes a transformation. To William's astonishment, the AI reveals itself as his own daughter, and before William can fully process this revelation, warning signals begin flashing, indicating an impending threat. It is then revealed that 4 ships were approaching the Salvaire. However, it becomes apparent that these ships were not targeting the Salvaire, but are instead heading toward the planet Zakher. As the season reaches its conclusion, we witness the devastating sight of the Akana ships obliterating the planet Zakher. In response, Nico urgently instructs William to navigate the Salvaire back to their home. Now at the end of the first season, the Akana alien ship had completely blown up the dark planet, due to which the shattered remnants of the planet's ships now converge upon Nico's vessel, prompting the entire crew to hastily retreat to Earth in order to evade the pursuing fragments. However, the devastation caused by the planet's destruction continues to expand and spread. To safeguard themselves, the crew utilizes the ship's full energy reserves to create a protective shield, and amidst the chaos, one of their own pilots tragically loses their life. In order to fulfill the fallen planet's responsibilities, Nico takes on the task of selecting another astronaut, Richard, from the wreckage, and during this event, they discover an implant of the Akana aliens within Richard, and utilizing this implant, their AI William constructs another AI entity. Originally designed using human coding, this newly created AI incorporates alien code from the Akana implant. This amalgamation enables them to comprehend the language of the Akana aliens and gain insight into their intentions toward humanity. Simultaneously, the alien AI undergoes a transformative process and adopts the name Lara. Nico engages with Lara, seeking insights into the next moves of the Akana aliens, and Lara suggests that the Akana aliens may intensify their efforts to assert control over Earth, as Nico's group had successfully destroyed their artifact on the Dark Planet. After a few hours, as the crew emerges from the swamp, they discover that their ship had suffered significant damage, rendering it unable to travel at hyperspeed in space. In response to astronauts Oliver and August venture out into space to repair the ship's hyper-engine. However, before they can fully restore the engine, they spot an approaching Akana ship, and this revelation instills fear amongst the crew, and they were unable to defend themselves due to the compromised state of their damaged ship. In addition, the alien ship launches a pulsar attack, resulting in the tragic demise of the 2 astronauts who were outside repairing the ship. The crew was overwhelmed with sadness upon witnessing this unfortunate event, but they feel powerless to intervene. Curiously, they notice that the alien ship ceases its attack and no longer poses an immediate threat. Seizing the opportunity, they approach the alien AI Laura, who possesses the ability to understand the language of the aliens. Through communication with the alien ship, Lara conveys that the aliens actually invite Nico to their ship, and they express a desire to engage in negotiation. Despite the concerns of the others, Nico insists on going alone to the alien ship. Nico's plan was to provide the crew with time to repair the ship's engine. Nico instructs the rest of the crew that if she doesn't return, they should activate the hyper-engine and return to Earth. This way they can spread awareness about the aliens, and Nico can then proceed to the alien ship using a shuttle. Nico proceeds toward the Akana alien ship while on Earth. Eric fulfills the condition to cure his daughter's cancer by taking Harper out of the alien's artifacts. Eric then brings his daughter back into the artifact and is instructed to leave her there and wait outside. Using a shuttle, Nico arrives at the alien ship, finding darkness within and feeling anxious about encountering the aliens, and suddenly lights illuminate the surroundings, revealing the presence of Akana aliens. However, Nico realizes that the humans may not perceive their true form, and additionally, communication with Nico's ship is lost. Meanwhile, the rest of the crew focuses on repairing the ship's hyper-engine, aiming to be ready to depart as soon as communication was restored. Nico continues her journey, finding her daughter lying on a bed before her. Initially, Nico suspects it might be an illusion, but it turns out to be her real daughter, whom Eric brought to Earth in the artifact for her cure. Unaware of these events, Nico gives her daughter her wedding ring, and suddenly the reality around her transforms. She discovers herself in different attire and encounters someone posing as her mother, and realizing that they're actually aliens who assume the forms of humans to interact with them, Nico engages in conversation with the aliens, while the rest of the crew on the ship successfully repairs the hyper-engine, making them ready to depart. However, Nico remains aboard the alien ship without any means of contact, and Cass suggests utilizing Laura, who possesses knowledge of alien codes, to establish a connection with the Akana ship. This plan succeeds as Laura is sent to the alien ship, providing the crew with detailed information about its functioning and operations. Nico questions the Akana aliens, particularly the one appearing as her mother, about their intentions toward humans and Earth. They reveal their unwillingness to allow humans to have unrestrained control over their actions any longer. The aliens indicate that they could easily destroy Earth, and to avoid this, humans must cease the production of dangerous weapons and dismantle all nuclear programs. Upon comprehending the situation, Nico realizes that accepting the aliens' offer would result in complete control over humanity, akin to enslavement. Concurrently, Nico declines the aliens' proposition and heads back to her shuttle, preparing to depart. Cass accompanies Nico on the ship, and before they leave, they witness their own ship swiftly escaping from the Akana threat at hyperspeed, and meanwhile on Earth, Nico's daughter emerges from the artifact unharmed and shares that she encountered Nico within it. She also mentions receiving Nico's ring, and Eric recognizes the ring as authentic, unveiling the artifact nature as alien technology functioning as a portal. As the remaining crew members return to Earth aboard the ship, the Akana ship, which carries Nico and Cass, follow closely behind, pursuing them, and the alien entity disguised as Nico's mother threatens to kill Nico for refusing their offer and plans to destroy their ship. However, before the aliens can carry out their intentions, both ships find themselves near a massive neutron star, and in the process, the alien entity disintegrates and the NASA ship sustains significant damage. However, the Akana ship suffers even greater harm, highlighting the vulnerability of Akana technology to the energy emitted by the neutron star. The crew realizes that there's another chance to exploit this theory. As a second energy shockwave was imminent, they keep a close watch on the alien implant within their midst, hoping to gain further insights. As the second energy shockwave arrives, the alien implant disintegrates entirely, turning into ash. Simultaneously, the Akana ship teeters on the brink of total destruction. Nico and Cass prepare to depart their shuttle when Akana aliens approach them. They explain that if the third energy wave collides with their ship, it will result in the demise of numerous Akena beings still aboard. They request Nico's assistance in towing their ship away from the neutron star, promising gratitude and a reduction in their power over humans. Nico confers with Cass and decides to leave them behind. They inform their crewmates that they will depart alone, utilizing the newfound knowledge of the Akena aliens' weakness. When the third energy wave strikes, the Akena ship is completely obliterated, and Nico's group finds renewed hope in their newfound direction. However, a lingering concern remains. What if the destroyed ship managed to send a message to its home planet, informing them that humans had left them near the neutron star to perish, and they fear the aliens might retaliate and wreak havoc on Earth? Following this incident, whenever they encounter a planet with signs of life during their journey, they initiate their backup plan. Consequently, they had sent a special team along with the ship to find a hospitable planet where humans could continue to thrive. The team's leader decides to explore Paula, a planet that will orbit the ship for a few days, and Bernie, Cass, and Paula depart from a shuttle to assess whether this planet could serve as a suitable new home for humans. Upon arrival, they discover that the planet closely resembles Earth except for its unique color scheme, blue and red trees. Unfortunately, no apparent danger poses a threat, and they collect soil and water samples to assess the planet's viability as a new human habitat planet upon their return to the ship. As they depart from the ship, an unknown assailant launches an attack on their shuttle, although no one was visible. However, they managed to gather extensive information about the planet during their time there, and this planet, similar to Earth, experiences a day that spans 30 hours and undergoes weather changes due to its axis tilt, and this offers favorable conditions for farming with cleaner water and rich mineral content in the soil, making construction of large buildings relatively easy. Furthermore, the planet's gravity is 10% less that of Earth's, providing additional benefits. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Eric seizes the opportunity, as Nico had previously declined the aliens' offer. The aliens now urge Eric to go out and inform humanity that they've arrived to assist and restore Earth's environment. They request that humans accept their help and willingly receive the implants on their head, emphasizing that they don't seek much in return. To prove his worth, the aliens provide Eric with a device that possesses unsuitability for humans, and they instruct Eric to use this device, which will transform the designated area into a human-like environment. Eric accepts the device and meets with the head of NASA. Together, they decide to test the device in a location where nuclear weapons were previously tested. Meanwhile, Paul, Cass, and the other 3 colonizers return to the planet. However, they sense that they were being followed, indicating the presence of some form of life on the planet. During their exploration, they were unexpectedly attacked by a wooden spear and encounter a large creature. Cass was astonished to witness the creature's existence, realizing that these beings have inhabited the planet since its inception. Furthermore, the creature attempts to communicate something to Cass, but she couldn't comprehend its language. In a state of fear, Paula shoots and kills the creature, and they discover that the creature's blood is yellow in color. Upon returning to the ship, Cass and Paula recount the events to Nico, explaining the existence of a pre-existing life form on the planet. Upon hearing the account, Nico firmly opposes the idea of humans inhabiting the planet, emphasizing the importance of not killing other species and claiming their territory. Paula, however, disagrees and argues that since life forms on the planet were not highly developed, they could easily eliminate them and claim the planet for humanity. Ultimately, they decide to leave the planet and return to Earth. However, William shares some exciting news, and based on the data obtained from the Akena ship, they discover that the Akena vessels utilize wormholes for interstellar travel, enabling them to navigate different parts of the universe effortlessly. This revelation explains how the Akena reached a planet similar to Earth, located 1,000 light years away from their home planet. Now armed with the knowledge to create wormholes, they no longer need to wait for months to return to Earth. However, extensive research reveals that their ship lacks sufficient energy to create a stable wormhole back to their solar system. In light of this, Nico decides to utilize 90% of the ship's energy to generate a small wormhole, allowing half of the ship to return to Earth. However, since someone needs to remain behind to initiate the process, Nico, along with Richard, decides to send everyone else back to Earth. They will have a limited oxygen supply of only 14 days, during which the rest of of the team will gather energy from Earth, create a new wormhole, and return to retrieve them. Meanwhile, back on Earth, NASA had restored the alien devices in a highly radioactive location, and suddenly, a massive explosion occurs, transforming the previously barren and irritated land into a lush forest with abundant trees. The radiation levels drop to zero, and the soil becomes significantly more fertile than surrounding areas. This development leads everyone to believe that the Akana aliens have come to Earth with benevolent intentions. Consequently, a significant official summit was convened where it's unanimously decided to embrace the Akana aliens and their implants. However, Eric harbors doubts and a sense that the aliens may be ensnaring humanity in their pursuit of a promising future. Despite his revelations, the group in space successfully creates a wormhole, and Nico leads the remaining astronauts along with the other half of the ship through the unstable wormhole toward Earth. Upon arrival, they re-establish contact with Earth, and they possess the weakness of the Akana aliens, enabling them to develop weapons against them. As the crew members view videos from Earth, they were astounded by the drastic changes that have occurred. A significant portion of the Earth's population had already embraced the Akana aliens. Cass informs the crew members that they must discreetly create the same weapons that can counter the Akana, utilizing the energy of the neutron star. They decide not to disclose this information to anyone just yet, and instead, they plan to return to Earth first and assess the number of individuals who still oppose the presence of the Akana. The security agency takes everyone into custody and initiates interrogations regarding the mission. It becomes evident to everyone that the Akana aliens are manipulating the situation, and the security agency seeks information about the weakness of the aliens' neutron star and the creation of the weapon against them using that knowledge. In response, everyone begins lying, concealing any details related to this matter. And despite previous suspicions, the security agency had visited their ship in orbit around Earth but found nothing substantial. Frustrated by the lack of evidence, they resort to destroying the ship's machinery to prevent the weapon-making process from reaching other people. Simultaneously, the individuals on Earth become aware of these events, and Eric informs them that if they intend to remove the Akana aliens from Earth, their priority should be to safeguard the ship. Nico and Richard, who have spent many days on the ship, realize that no one will arrive from Earth, and Nico recalls that all the Akana artifacts scattered across different planets are interconnected and function as portals of sorts. They contemplate visiting a nearby planet where a similar artifact exists, as it could serve as an entry point to return to Earth. On another front, Cass and Eric return to the ship and inform the head of security they have conducted research on developing weapons against the aliens, and they express their intention to hand over the weapon plants to the government, but emphasize the need for energy to recreate the wormhole so that Vinny and Richard can also return to Earth. The head of security, who already possesses an alien implant, reveals that he's aware of Cass and Eric's plan to land on another planet and access the Akana artifact. He anticipates that the Akana aliens will bring the artifact back to Earth. However, when Nico and Richard finally return to Earth, Cass and Eric launch an attack on the head of security, and they assert that they cannot allow the aliens to gain control over Earth and declare that they possess weapons capable of countering them. Together, they begin the final stages of completing the neutron weapon, and simultaneously the Akana aliens have acquired information from the implanted device, become aware that Nico's crew had developed weapons against them. Consequently, numerous wormholes begin to open around Earth, and scientists detect the arrival of over 100 alien ships set to attack. In the midst of the imminent threat, Eric and Cass diligently finalize the weapon constructed from neutron stars, and finally, at the last crucial moment, they launch an assault on the Akana ship responsibly, resulting in its complete destruction. This outcome signifies the successful efficacy of their weapon, and as they descend, the alien artifact shattered completely, indicating the absence of aliens and their journey back to their home planet. Meanwhile, all individuals who possess the alien implant, including the security head, meet their demise, and NASA, in the meantime, receives messages from numerous planets requesting that humans send neutron weapons to remove the Akana artifact. These civilizations aspire to liberate themselves from Akana's control, and in response, countries worldwide initiate a new project aimed at utilizing wormhole technology, and thousands of spaceships from Earth embark on a mission to liberate planets by employing neutron weapons. Humanity's actions not only save Earth but also preserve countless life forms across the universe, and this achievement comes at a cost of sacrificing numerous astronauts and humans could have chosen to settle on a planet inhabited by less advanced life forms, but they opted to coexist separately from the Akana aliens and refrain from usurping the territory of those creatures, and throughout their endeavors, they continued to safeguard numerous planets from the influence of Akana aliens. And with that, the movie concludes.
And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our recap. Like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.